He had spent 2 years believing he was riding home to a dead ranch, a mountain of debt, and nothing but his father's failures waiting behind the old Bar W gate. He never imagined that when he finally returned, the fences would be repaired, the cattle would be thriving, and a woman he had never met would be standing on his porch as though the place belonged to her. Tom Weathers came down from the trail on. A September evening with dust baked into his coat and weariness settled deep behind his eyes. For 2 long years he had driven other men's cattle toward distant railheads, sleeping beneath cold stars and counting every dollar he could save against the debt his father had left behind. He had imagined his return countless times. In some versions he found the ranch struggling but still his. In others, he found only empty. Barns and a foreclosure notice nailed to the gate. Never once had he imagined Ruth Kesler. Tom saw the difference before he even reached the house. The north fence, which had been sagging and broken when he left, ran straight across the pasture. The grass was thick. The cattle looked healthy and plentiful. Even the old windmill was turning steadily against the evening sky. Then he saw the woman. She stood on the porch wearing a plain brown dress beneath a faded work apron, one hand resting against the porch rail as she studied him. She did not look frightened. She looked cautious, like someone deciding whether a stranger deserved to be welcomed onto property she had spent years protecting. "You're Tom Weathers," she said. Tom swung down from his horse. "That depends on who's asking." "Ruth Kesler." Her answer was calm. "I've been running the Bar W for nearly 2 years. Tom stared at her. "You've been doing what?" "Keeping your ranch alive." That was the first moment Tom realized his homecoming was nothing like the one he had carried in his imagination. Ruth invited him inside, and what he found there unsettled him almost as much as the sight of the healthy cattle. The dusty curtains his mother had once kept clean were gone. The kitchen table had been repaired and covered with a homemade cloth. The shelves were orderly, the stove warm, and supper was waiting. Tom remembered the house as it had been when he rode away, neglected, silent, and nearly as tired as the man who had left it. His father, Amos Weathers, had died just before Tom departed with the herd. Amos had left behind more than grief. He had left behind debt. Tom knew there had been trouble, but he had never understood how close the Bar W had come to being lost. Amos had borrowed heavily during several bad seasons, and a county banker named Harmon Vance had been waiting for the opportunity to take the property. Tom had believed the debt was manageable. It had not been. Ruth explained everything without asking Tom for sympathy. She had come into the county after being widowed, carrying a modest inheritance and looking for a business opportunity. She heard about the Bar W at the general store, where people openly discussed Vance's plans to foreclose. Instead of watching another ranch disappear, Ruth approached Dutch Harmon, the aging foreman. She offered money in exchange for a legitimate partnership. Dutch accepted because the ranch needed capital, and Ruth had both money and the courage to put it to work. "You paid my father's debt?" Tom asked. "I paid enough to buy the ranch time," Ruth answered. "Then I bought cattle, seed, tools, and whatever else the place needed. The rest had to be earned." She told him she had worked beside Dutch and the hired men from sunrise until dark. She had repaired fences, managed the books, nursed sick cattle, and fought Vance whenever he tried to change the terms against them. Tom listened quietly. He had spent 2 years riding through dust and rain, believing he was returning to a burden. Instead, he had come home to a ranch stronger than the one he remembered, and the woman responsible for it was sitting across from him as though saving his entire inheritance had been nothing more than a job that needed doing. Tom looked at Ruth for a long moment. "Why didn't you just sell your share and walk away?" Ruth lowered her eyes to her plate. "Because by then, it wasn't just an investment anymore." Tom felt something change inside him. He had arrived expecting to face his father's debt. He had not expected to discover that a stranger had turned his ruined ranch into a home. and he had certainly not expected to wonder why, after only one evening, he already wanted to know everything about her. The next morning, Tom went looking for Dutch Harmon because he needed to hear the truth from a man who had known the Bar W longer than either Tom or Ruth. He found the old foreman near the north line, checking the fence posts Ruth had repaired during the previous winter. Dutch took one look at Tom and shook his head. "You finally made it home." Tom nodded toward the pasture. "She really did all this?" Dutch gave him a look that almost suggested the question offended him. "She did more than you can see from here." Then the old man began telling him the things Ruth had left out at supper. During the first spring, flooding had destroyed the creek crossing and trapped cattle on the far side. Ruth had borrowed lumber from a neighboring ranch, hired 2 men with her own money, and supervised the rebuilding herself. During the following summer, a disease damaged the hay crop, and Ruth had ordered agricultural material from another county, experimented with a different method, and managed to save enough feed to carry the herd through winter. Then Dutch had broken his leg falling from the barn loft. For 6 weeks, Ruth had ridden the fence line herself before breakfast every morning, even when the temperature fell below freezing. "She kept this place together when there was nobody else to do it," Dutch said. "If you'd come back a year ago, you might have found a foreclosure notice where that gate is standing." Tom felt a weight settle in his chest. "And she never spent ranch money on herself?" "Not unless the ranch needed it." Dutch paused. "That woman put every dollar back into this place. She treated the partnership like a promise." Tom rode home with those words following him. He found Ruth in the garden behind the house, tying young plants to wooden stakes. The garden looked strangely familiar. His mother had once worked those same rows before illness took her, but after her death, the garden had become another neglected corner of the property. Ruth had brought it back to life. "I owe you an apology," Tom said. Ruth glanced over her shoulder. "For what?" "For walking onto my own porch yesterday and acting like you were trespassing." "You had every reason to be surprised." "That isn't the same as being right." Ruth returned to her work. "I didn't save the ranch for your gratitude, Tom." It was the first time she had called him by his first name. He noticed. "Then why?" "Because I had a stake in it, because people were counting on me, and because somewhere along the way this stopped feeling like a business arrangement." Tom stepped closer. "You mean it became home?" Ruth's hands paused. "Something like that?" Tom wanted to ask more, but Ruth turned the conversation toward the cattle. She showed him which herd needed moving, which fields needed rest, and which fence line had to be checked before the first hard winter weather. As the days passed, Tom discovered that Ruth knew the ranch better than he did. She knew which mare kicked when nervous, which creek crossing became dangerous after heavy rain, and which pasture produced the strongest grass. She had not merely protected the Bar W, she had learned it. And Tom began finding reasons to stay near her. He started walking with her after supper. She began leaving coffee ready in the morning exactly the way he liked it, even though he never remembered telling her. Their conversations stretched longer. Their silences became comfortable. One evening, Tom finally asked why she had never written him. Ruth looked toward the fading horizon. "I did, twice." Tom frowned. "I never received anything. I sent the letters to the cattle company office listed as your trail contact. I never heard back." She hesitated. "I decided you had enough trouble without hearing every detail of mine. I thought the best thing I could do was make sure you had something worth coming home to." Tom stared at her. "You didn't even know if I'd return." "No," she admitted, "but I hoped you would." That answer stayed with him all night. By October, Tom no longer mistook what he felt for simple gratitude. He admired her strength, but it was more than admiration. He wanted her beside him when the ranch prospered. He wanted her voice at his table and her footsteps in the house. Yet before he could say anything, trouble. rode through the Bar W gate, wearing a banker's coat. Harmon Vance had not forgotten Ruth. And now that Tom was home, Vance believed he had found the perfect way to take back what Ruth had built. Harmon Vance arrived at the Bar W with a county lawyer and a stack of papers, claiming Ruth Kesler had never possessed the legal authority to establish a partnership while Tom was away. His intention was obvious. If he could convince Tom that Ruth's claim was invalid, Tom could buy her out for a fraction of what she had invested, leaving Vance free to regain control of the debt he had once expected to collect through foreclosure. Ruth stood beside Tom on the porch with her hands folded, her expression calm, but Tom could feel the tension in her. She had fought Vance before, but this time the fight was personal. "Your agreement was made without the owner's permission," the lawyer said. "Therefore, Mrs. Kesler's share may be challenged." Tom said nothing at first. He let the man finish. Then he asked Vance one question. "You handled my father's original debt, didn't you?" Vance shifted uneasily. "Yes." "Then you know Dutch Harmon was officially registered as foreman with authority to manage the Bar W while I was absent." Vance's face tightened. Tom reached into his coat and removed a folded document. "I went to the county office before sunrise. I read every filing connected to this ranch. Dutch had the authority to make exactly the agreement Ruth made with him." He handed the certified copy to the lawyer. "Her partnership is legal. Her investment is documented. Her share is earned. So unless you've brought something stronger than the papers you filed yourself, I suggest you take your lawyer and leave my land." The lawyer read the document twice. Then he quietly told Vance there was no case. The banker's face hardened, but he had lost. He gathered his papers and rode away, leaving the Bar W behind him. Ruth remained on the porch until the dust disappeared down the road. "You didn't have to fight him," she said. Tom looked at her. "Yes, I did." "Why?" "Because he was wrong." Ruth studied him carefully. "Only because of the ranch?" Tom stepped closer. "No." For the first time since his return, Tom stopped hiding behind business, debt, partnership, and gratitude. "I came home thinking I owed you something. Money. Thanks. Maybe even respect. But that isn't what this is anymore." Ruth's expression softened. "Then what is it?" Tom gave a quiet laugh. "I'm still trying to figure out how a man can ride away for 2 years thinking about everything he has lost and ride home wondering how he ever managed to live without the woman who saved it." Ruth looked away, but he saw the smile she tried to hide. "That's a dangerous thing to say to a woman you've known only a few weeks." "I've known the woman you are longer than that," Tom answered. "I've seen what you built. I've seen how you treat the hands, the animals, the land. I've seen you stand against a banker who thought being a widow made you easy to frighten. And I've watched you turn a house that had forgotten how to be warm into a home." Ruth's eyes met his. "And what exactly are you asking for?" Tom took off his hat. "A chance to stop calling this a partnership when we both know it has become something more." For several seconds, she said nothing. Then she stepped closer. "I was beginning to wonder how long it would take you." Tom smiled. "Dutch knew before I did, didn't he?" "Dutch knew before either of us." They laughed, and the sound carried across the yard. The ranch changed after that, though not in the ways Tom expected. Ruth remained a partner. She never surrendered the share she had earned, and Tom never asked her to. They worked side by side through another winter, another spring, and another season of cattle drives. Tom repaired what needed repairing, while Ruth continued managing the books and expanding the operation. But now there was laughter in the house. There were evenings spent together on the porch. There were mornings when Tom found Ruth waiting beside the barn with coffee already poured. Slowly, the Bar W became more than land and cattle. It became the place where two people who had each known, Loss found something neither had expected. Tom had left 2 years earlier, believing the ranch was the thing he needed to save. When he came home, he discovered Ruth Kesler had already done that. What he had not understood was that she had saved something else, too. The possibility that the Bar W could become a home again. And on a cool evening beneath a wide western sky, Tom finally understood the strangest truth of all. Sometimes a man rides hundreds of miles searching for the life he thought he lost, only to come home and find that the best part of that life is a woman who was never supposed to be there in the first place.